Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at Bitcoin and the Cardano chart, and we take a look at is there actually, or how likely actually is a bullish scenario for Bitcoin in which we actually don't go down to 20 to 29k, what I have been talking about, for weeks now, as we broke below 53k. How likely it is and why I actually think it is quite unlikely. So start with Bitcoin here. This is the scenario how it's currently unfolding, where we came down here in a 5-wave move back from April into July. We then moved up in a 3-wave structure to the upside, and now we are moving down in a 5-wave move to the downside in a wave A here, in my view, in green. That unfolds then in a wave B in green and a wave C. That wave C is supposed to land between 20 and 29k in my view. And at the moment we can see here this sort of triangle, an Elliott Wave triangle that might be unfolding here. And I had this on the chart for a few days now with this wave A, B, C, D, E, which is projected here, which hasn't happened yet. So far the chart is moving into that direction, and that wave E, if this is playing out, this would indicate that we might actually even stay in the range here between 45.5 and 52k, and then from there in the next move exit the triangle or the range to the downside. This then wouldn't really have been a strong wave B to the upside. Might be a little bit of a different pattern then, but then also the direction would be to the downside. Now, how likely would it actually be that, what we see here is obviously it is a 5-wave structure to the downside in my view. This is so far in my view a wave A, then a wave B and a wave C. But there is a likelihood that trends turn around, that trends change, and that this here actually could become a 5-wave move up. Yeah, so something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. If you see that, if you see an impulse to the upside, that's how we can get out of this misery here. And I'll definitely keep you updated if we start seeing something like that. If we start seeing really an impulse here to the upside, that could actually indicate that what I've been talking about here, even though in my view it is an absolute valid Elliott Wave count, that this would actually not unfold then, but so far, if you see something like 5-wave down, then 3 waves up, and then it indicates very strongly that we come down again in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this can carry on for a while. You could then see even another 1, 2, 3. So what you actually need to see, and then down, but what you need to see is a 5-wave structure to the upside. Only that way we can escape this misery here. And there is probably a bullish scenario, but it is just very unlikely in my view. It just is very, very unlikely. In all of these scenarios that I've shown you, they indicate that we go down further. So throughout the last few weeks, as we broke below 53k, because this was such a critical level for Bitcoin, the 53k level, it was this previous high here, this previous level. As we broke below that, I told you before, we are going to unlock much lower prices, and we did that. This was a key level on the Fibs as well, and basically we came down, and until then, this here, this what is marked as ABC, was actually it could have been a wave 3, yeah, with a wave 4 coming down here, this here, and then coming down in wave 4, but the wave 4 doesn't normally come down that far. And that's why it then became much less likely. Also, what we are seeing here looks impulsive to the downside, not corrective anymore, okay? So it is an impulse to the downside. So yeah, is there a potential that we actually move up from here in this, what I just showed you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, of course, there is a chance. There is always a likelihood. This would, however, only be confirmed, and it would be very late, if we really move above the previous, above the all-time high. Because even when I talk about an ABC here, which would land here in this yellow target area between 55 and 63k, this could even overshoot slightly the previous all-time high. So it is very, 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 very dangerous. That's why it's so important to look at the structure. And the structure of the price looks just not bullish at all, This, yes, theoretically, this could be here a wave 1. This could be a wave 2. But the wave 2 normally wouldn't take that long. It's a range. this is a range, and it normally wouldn't take that long. And the triangle that I've just shown you indicates as well that we should here exit actually to the downside. And yeah, you know, for some reason we might see an impulse here, but that would need to be quite strong. It would need to push here through the target area, through these fips that surround this target area, and would even need to go beyond the all-time high to really invalidate now that bearish scenario. And even that, what I call a bearish scenario, actually it's not that bearish. even if I talk about Bitcoin prices 20 to 29k, this is a correction. It's a massive correction within which we are in my view, for Bitcoin, A, B, and C. Yeah, but after that you get the new impulse. Yeah, so after this massive ABC, you get the new impulse, and that could take us to very attractive levels in 2022. And you know, we can then expect levels of around 150, 200k this year, and that would be amazing. I think everybody's looking forward to that. Everybody thought it would happen last year, including myself. Especially when I started this channel, I didn't really use the Elliott Wave method then on this channel to analyze Bitcoin, but of course then I relied on like things like on-chain indicators, and for example here the stock to flow model, which so far hasn't really worked out, at least not this year or last year. So yeah, I think it is a chance, but I would only give it a 15 to 20% maybe. Normally, you know, a wave 2 wouldn't necessarily drag that long. Yes, it's possible, but it's not that likely. Okay, so that's why I lean towards this scenario that I've shown you for weeks now. All right, Cardano I showed you earlier today. Everybody who hasn't seen it here, this Fibonacci time how is it called? As I said, I've never used it before, but I thought it might be interesting to start here using it. This tool here on TradingView, the trend-based Fib time indicator. So it gives you an idea of when, based on Fibonacci numbers, based on giving you a time scale basically, when price reversals might happen. And so far here for Cardano, it actually looks quite interesting. I mean, I haven't really used it a lot so far, and I need to look further into it. Maybe I haven't even applied it correctly, but it just indicates, you know, when it starts here, we have a reversal, obviously. Then we have here a reversal point directly at the 0.887 Fib level here, directly. Yes, then a couple of weeks later again. But here definitely that's a reversal. Then here, this is very close. This Fib level is very close to the peak. This next Fib level, there was a reversal point as well, you know, starting from this downtrend, actually in a short-term uptrend. And also here at the 0.5 Fib level, we have a short or a reversal, and it started to look, or it still starts to look like that we might actually find our way up from here, but it's too weak. Still, it's too weak. The biggest one I would expect here, if this is actually something that actually can be relied on, is at the 0.618. Now that will be here, as per this one, on the 9th of February. But as I said, I need to play around with it a bit more. I need to do some more research on this indicator. But I thought it might be interesting to put it in just to track it, because as I always say, normally with the Elliott Waves, it doesn't give you any sort of time frame. You know, this is the time frame then has to come from other things, from other factors, from other sources of data or whatever. But yeah, so far, again, nothing new really. Still think we are here in this ABC correction within a wave 2. When the wave 2 is completed, we can expect the wave 3. The wave 3 I would expect, based on the Fib levels, at around 450 to, we can just put on the chart, at the beginning of this wave. Let me just do that here, to the peak. Yeah, just to give you an idea of what might be happening in this year. Now that we have 2022, we might have a few new people on the channel. So originally I always expected a reversal here in this yellow target area. Now we still are in the target area, but originally the target area wasn't that massive. I only had it around here the 181 level. I think it did go down to 145, but I had to extend it lower, as I learned that many of the altcoins in this wave 2 actually go down to the 0.887 Fib level. Many stocks and shares normally don't, but the altcoins seem to do it before you then get this massive impulse in the next wave up. And Cardano obviously already is at this 0.887 Fib level at 125. Now, is this the finish, or do we see lower prices? I would expect in the next few weeks, in line with my Bitcoin expectation, that we probably will see further lower levels and possibly all the way down to $1. I've got a feeling we see the dollar again. I hope we will hold it, because if we don't, we have to talk about a larger correction, and we could see prices of around 65 to 68 cents, unfortunately, before you then finish your wave 2, because what we then have to do is to go to the higher level wave count and take a look at that. But even then, we could expect higher prices next year. And even if we, ironically, if you then go down further and we have to start the fibs lower, you know, maybe somewhere down there, I would need to look at it in detail. But then if we really come down here to levels of around 66 cents, as you can see here, the 0.786 fib level then, based on the higher level wave count, you would expect, again, that at least the 1.618 level this year then, and this goes up from 440 then to $5. So also the 200% will go up to 620 and the 2.618 to $8. So actually the lower we go now, the higher you would expect the next wave to go. That's ironically how it works with fib levels, because they get extended. So just to show you what happens if I go to this wave count, which basically gets invalidated when we drop below $1, then at least the 1.618 and at least price target would give you 440. The 200% would give you 519, and the 2.618 would give you 650. So if you know, next wave 3, you would at least expect that 1.618 level. And if we come down further, all the way down to 65 cents, for example, it would indicate that the next impulsive will be even more impulsive. Okay, so that's how it works. So very good actually if it comes down lower, but it would piss many people off, including myself, to be honest, even though we could buy even cheaper. But of course it will just be an even longer bleeding out. And yeah, it will be hard, but I still would, you know, obviously the project itself doesn't change because of that, does it? And obviously in the next, or in this year, Charles has a lot of plans, especially about DeFi, you know, decentralized finance, payment corridors he wanted to look at. So that'd be interesting. So I'm looking forward to all these developments in the Cardano space. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.